don't know about you guys, but I've always found the stock grips on the Tenere 700 to be pretty uncomfortable. They seem more like hard plastic than they do rubber. And I mean, they get the job done, but they're really just not the nicest thing to have your hand wrapped around. And if you guys didn't see that video, a while back I put these Tusk Chub bars on here. These are the YZ High Bend, which means they give you just a little bit more sweep. Definitely happy with that. I can put links for videos of that down in the description. But when I put these bars on here, I had planned on sticking these Tusk grips on here, but it turns out that these are actually about like a ½ inch too short compared to the stock grips. And of course you could just lop off a bit of the throttle tube, slide your controls down a ways, but with the wraparound handguards, which I highly recommend if you're gonna do any off-road riding, then your clutch and brake lever would obviously have some interference there. Now you could of course switch those out for something like this, which I'm actually gonna be sticking on tonight too. These are a hair shorter than the stock levers and they look kind of nifty. They are also adjustable. I can put a link for these down in the description. I don't know how much I'm gonna like these, but I guess we can take it for a test ride and figure that out. But the thing is, with a short grip like this, you just end up with kind of a small spot for your hand to fit on there, especially with the wraparound handguards. You just kind of don't have a lot of real estate for your fingers in there. And most of the time that's not a big deal, but I figure, you know what, I might as well do something about this. We'll get the right size grip on here so I can leave myself a little bit of extra room and it'll look, well, maybe a little bit more factory. I'm gonna be installing these Pro Grips, which are 125 millimeters long. They also are open-ended, so I'm not gonna have to cut the end off like I did on the TW with these Tusk grips here. These are still a very rubbery, soft material, which hopefully will hold up. I guess I can keep you guys updated, and I can put a comment down pinned to the top of the comment section if I do have any issues or when these eventually do wear out. These guys have quite a few different options on Rocky Mountain's page, and some of them say how long they are, others do not. And if you're not going to buy this exact style, make sure that you look down in the description for the grips and find the length of them. You want something somewhere around the 125 millimeter mark, otherwise your grips are going to be too short. These should be just the same length as a stock grip would be. And I did actually nip a little bit of the stock grip off. That's why mine maybe look a little bit different than yours, but I would say these are going to be just about perfect for me. I kind of can't believe how much softer these are than the stock grips. That's going to be quite the nice change, I think. And these might actually kind of damp down the vibrations a tad too. I guess there's only one way to find out though. Let's get these things off of here, install these, switch out my levers, and then we'll take it all out for a test ride. Now, if you've never pulled your stock grips off before, they are going to be a little bit more of a pain in the butt to get removed. However, I really didn't have too much trouble pulling them off using just a little bit of compressed air. I did not glue mine back on when I reinstalled them. I would suggest just sticking them on and kind of seeing how things go. Hopefully you don't need to add any glue in there. Some people use hairspray or even paint or something to help get them on the bar and then help keep them on the bar. But then when you go to take them off, you're gonna have to cut them off. I've also got the Tusk grip heaters underneath these, so I really didn't want to have to replace those or worry about nicking them when I went to cut a set off. So I'm very happy that I decided to just try these. They have been working excellent, never had one slip. Absolutely no issues so far. Don't anticipate any. I would say don't glue them on. And without any glue present, or even if there is just a little bit in there still from Yamaha, you should be able to kind of stick the tip of this in between either the throttle tube and the grip, or on the other side the bar and the grip. And essentially what you'll be doing here is kind of blowing this up like a balloon. And with the grip expanded like that, they should slide off relatively easy. And when it comes time to stick the new grips on, make sure you look down the barrel of them and grab the one that is the larger diameter for the throttle tube side. Smaller diameter side is gonna go on the clutch side. And to put the new grip on, I'm just gonna again use a little bit of compressed air, being a little bit careful to make it over my heating elements first. These definitely seem a lot stickier than the stock grips, which will lend itself nicely to not using any sort of adhesive in there. Oh, that is so much nicer. I cannot believe I rode around with those hard plastic things on here for so long. I like these things so much already that I want to give one of you guys a set of these. So comment down below, let me know why you want these and what type of bike you want to stick them on. I will respond in the comments. Make sure that it says Swanky Cat as the responder and the channel name, and it should actually tell you that it is the verified Swanky Cat channel. I've had some issues with giveaways before. I'm not going to contact you via Snapchat or any of the other goofy apps. I basically use YouTube and stay away from any other sort of social media. So I will contact you via the comments. I think I'm running a little bit low on pressure here. I guess I'll have to fire the tank back up. I have also heard from my dad that a little bit of soapy water underneath here works real well. I don't think I could be happy with how these fit on here. That is such a nice looking grip. Definitely fills out the control section nicely on both sides. Covers up my zip ties and everything. It doesn't hang off too much. And really, I think looks pretty darn cool on there. I'll get the old levers pulled off. That's just a matter of, I think, holding a flathead on the top there, pulling the nut off the bolt on the bottom. This side is a little bit more complicated because, of course, we've got the clutch cable that is stuck in there. So then up top here, I should just be able to pull this pin out. And I want to double check this after I do this anyhow, so we will line that slot up with the slot in the perch, and then this whole thing will just swing out of here, and I should be able to get that off much easier. So before you stick the new lever on here, there's a couple things to be aware of. One, you're gonna have to push this switch in prior to trying to jam this thing in there. Don't ask me how I know. The other thing is that this hole in here is a little bit large. Luckily, we should be able to just steal this out of here, which I assume is what they intend you to do. Grab your fastener. And that should be operational. Get that guy back on. So both sides are adjustable, meaning that if you flip this, you change the distance between the bar and the lever. But the clutch, of course, has the adjustment point right here that you want to make sure you pay attention to. So basically, you want to pull this in, slowly let it loose, and then check to make sure you've got a nickel's worth of space between the perch and the lever itself. And if you need to make any adjustments, all you have to do is spin this. One way will send the cable in a little bit further to give you some more slack. The other way will pull it back out, tightening that gap up. And it looks like this side I'll actually have to thread out. Suppose that seems familiar. Now on this side, your switch is actually right here, and I don't think we're gonna have to push that in, but what you do have to be a little bit cautious of is the actual plunger here for the brake system. That's gonna fit inside of the little hole right there. I don't think I want to tighten that tiny little bolt up anymore, but it does seem like we have quite a bit of play, although I think a lot of that is just coming from this fastener here. Other than that, feels good. And they definitely look pretty cool on there. Sure wish I would have gone with a different color. I guess maybe they're not that bad. Should I buy red instead? Let me know down in the comments what you think. I'm gonna get my handguards back on here. We'll take this thing out for a ride, and I'll see how everything worked out. What a beautiful night to test out some new parts. So I've got maybe 45 minutes of ride time on the grips and the levers today. I've been out with them on the road quite a bit. I just hadn't done any filming yet. And I've got to say that I absolutely love these grips. I would definitely 100% recommend switching them out. I would say even if you're not having problems with your standard grips, these are so much better, and I am disappointed that I waited this long to do it. They're a little bit bigger diameter, I think, which is really kind of nice. They're so nice and squishy, not to the point that you feel like you're losing any control or anything, just enough that you actually feel like you're kind of sinking into the bar just a hair
which gives you, I guess, between that and the fact that they are just a grippier material and not made out of hard plastic, it feels like you're a lot more connected to the bike. They definitely feel like you don't have to squeeze them as tight to get a good grasp on them, which is really, really, really nice. And of course, squeezing the grips too tight, especially when you're off-road, is something that is very common, at least for me. So feeling like you can loosen up a little bit now and then is such a nice thing to have. I don't really think I have anything negative to say about them at all. On the highway and the road, it's hard to say, and I guess obviously I'm kind of in love with them, but I think maybe you get a little bit less vibration too. As far as the heated grips go, I definitely don't need them tonight, but they do feel like they're maybe just a tad. I forgot what I was going to say. I'm contemplating whether I'm going to do single track or not. We're here, we might as well go for it. They feel like they're a tad something. I don't remember what that something was. I don't want to lose my camera. Ooh. I feel like they maybe dampen the vibration a little bit, is I think what I was going for. Now on to the, I guess we're still doing some good squeezing, so this will be good test for the squeezing part, like I was talking about. But now we are on to, of course, testing the good old or new levers on here. Ah, man, I don't know. They're kind of neat. As far as how they look and that you can adjust them, but I don't know. I mean, I think maybe if they were just a little bit shorter and they were more like a two finger, because you can really get three on pretty comfortably. Not that I can show you that now, or with my hands anyways I can. But I think the thing is, woo, I'm still kind of stuck pinching my other fingers underneath when I go to shift, which I know you can do that as long as you get your clutch adjusted properly, but I just don't really like it. I feel like I'm still kind of a little bit on the clutch, which I don't like to shift when I'm a little bit on the clutch. I like to have it all the way in, so that kind of makes me uncomfortable. And honestly, I mean, if that's all you're going to get out of it, should not have that pull out that far, then I mean, what's the point of even having different levers? Because I mean, I could have done that with the stock ones, right? I'm gripping these bars tight now, boy. And they don't really seem like they pull in any easier. I know you can get a whole new perch with, I think, like one or maybe a couple ball bearings in it. That definitely makes it a lot easier. Those, of course, I think most of them don't have. They're made for like stunting and stuff, so they don't have a clutch safety switch built into them, so you'd have to figure out a bypass to that. Maybe that would be worth it, because now honestly my hands are a little bit cramped after doing that. Whew. I don't know that I would say run out and buy them. They're kind of neat. If you want the adjustability, that's kind of cool and a nice option to have, of course, but you know, whatever. I did stick my stock levers into the back bag, the Tusk medium dry duffel bag, and if you want links for any of this stuff, including the dry duffel, then you can take a look down in the description. I'll have a link for it down there. Other than that, take care, stay safe, and stay swanky. See ya!